Hello everyone, it's Irene in here. So today I was going to bring you another game, but unfortunately, as I was messing with the settings and all of it, I understood that I could not do that one. Okay. And the game seems totally okay. It's called Heart and Soul, and it's based on the ancient Greek mythology. I think you only have like one love interest on that one. It probably will cost you like $5 for like a completion of the game of like 5 to 6 hours. The thing with that game was that I was feeling like I was not able to read it because of the text box. Yeah, I was having a lot of issues with the text box with that one, in terms of like the few opacity in it. And I started seeing that and I was like, okay, I don't want this one to be another one like, remember like the other one that I read that I was having a lot of difficulty because of the font and the text box and all of it. Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm not going to do that again. So I'm going to probably leave the link in the description for you to take a look at it if you want, because there's a demo and you can take a look at it. I was not able because when it's like that hard for me to read, I don't like it. In fact, it makes me I don't know, it's a bit confusing for me why the developers would put like this type of visual novels where you have like this really hard time to read the text box just out there like that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, each person with their own thing, you know. So that's it. So this one is called Who Murdered My Empress. This is a Vietnamese visual novel from the Vietnamese developer. It was released back in 2024. And it's a time travel romance set in a fantastical realm inspired in the 19th century Vietnam. Assume the role of an empress with a lavish harem of captivating men as you navigate intrigue, love, and mystery. This is from developer Little Snake Studio, and this is a mature themed one. You will have some, I don't know if you have scenes, but at least descriptions of sexual scenes in here. Okay, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I think you do. Yeah, because I do not know if you're going to have like CGs during those parts or not. I have no idea. So you play as Mai. I'm going to open the A in here because I think in Vietnamese they open the vowels. You play as Mai. Oh yeah, that's another thing, which is like names in here are going to be hard for me. I don't know Vietnamese language, so yeah, it's going to be like that. You play as Mai, a strong-willed and analytical police officer from the present day, injured during a case. You awaken in the year of 1845, but not as yourself. You are now the infamously lustful empress who rules the country. Armed with the knowledge you learned from history books, you are determined to unearth the truth behind your arrival here and do your best to survive by avoiding mutiny and war. Here your life intertwines with Vu Huyen, a beautiful man with a mysterious heart. You must interact with him and your other consort husbands while keeping your identity a secret. They all seem to harbor their own hidden motives, making your mission that much more challenging. Why has this happened? Why are you here? And why does your heart beat against all logic? You need to make the right choices to gain more useful information and avoid your bad endings. So we're going to try what we can in terms of that. I will try at my best, being honest with you, I will try at my best to not actually talk a lot during, that sometimes I start talking. And I actually would probably have like a ton of things to tell you in here. In terms of like this, the emperor, the empress in this case, and the consorts and the concubines and all of it. I would love to tell you about all of that. Unfortunately, I will not have time for that. Yeah. Because I told you yesterday that I was going to put 2 games today, but I will not be able. I will not. I will try my best to put this one today. Tomorrow I will not be able to bring you nothing because I need to take care of my nephew. So I'm really sorry. This is what I will be able to do today, okay? So, and I will try to be as concise as I can. Yeah, because I will not have a lot of time today for us to be in here. So let's start it. Yeah, so it contains explicit sexual content, addresses sensitive themes. Okay, the work is of pure fiction and all of it. Yes. It's not going to be too much loud because, yeah, I had to put it lower because it was really loud on my ears. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. People in Da Viet believe there exists an invisible red thread that binds you to certain people, whether in love or animosity. No matter how hard you may strive to break its hold, it will guide your souls back together even in another life. Are you ready to hold on to the red thread of destiny to unveil the truth about our own fate? So, prologue. May 25 of 2045, 200 years after the murder. I said 2000, sorry. This is like, I think this is the second time I do this. Like, instead of like saying 2000, I say 200. Did I say 200? I don't know. Something like that, you know. I'm really sorry. It's 2045. Early sunlight gently filters through the police office blinds. I arrived at work early today and I have already been deep into work for a couple of hours. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and cigarette smoke wafts through the air, mingling with the sounds of paper shuffling and keyboards clacking. The vibration from a text notification jolts me out of my focus. I take a pause from typing my precious case report to reach for my phone. You better behave on the date with the man I set you up with tonight. It's time for you to start dating and building a family. Aunt Lynn, I think. I narrow my eyes at the bright phone screen. For the past few months, my aunt has been persistent in setting up on dates with various men. Annoyed as I am, I can say no to her. Is that your aunt? Dao peers over my shoulder to look at my phone screen. Dao and I have been best friends since middle school and we graduated from police college together. Well, at least best friends is how Dao often describes our relationship. I'm not fond of people in general and prefer spending time alone rather than making friends. But Dao has been following me like a tail since middle school, and I have grown to tolerate her presence. Now we are both police officers in the District 1 police station. After letting the thick, bitter gulp of coffee run down my throat, I let out a big sigh. The rush of caffeine shooting through my chest strangely calms my mind. Yes, she is making me go on an arranged date again. Who is the lucky guy this time? Who cares? I've made it clear to her so many times that I'm not interested in dating anytime soon. Even though I agreed with my aunt to go on the date so she would stop rushing me about it, I will find a way to sabotage it just like I did with the last dates. Come on, don't start with I am too busy with work thing again. Dao's lips curl into a pout to tease me. It's not just that. Don't you think dating is overrated? What do you gain out of it anyways? I have never understood the pressure of finding a partner. Mandatory social situations such as work parties or meeting up with family are burdensome enough, let alone dating someone. Besides, life has so much more to offer besides relationships. The world would be a better place if more people were more focused on solving the world's problems. Here we go again, the forever doubtful, cynical Mai. How do you know relationships are overrated or not if you never had a relationship? You better go on a date, old lady. I shoot daggers at Dao across the desk with my eyes. Stop talking and go grab me another cup of coffee. Hey, I'm your best friend and your co-worker, not your maid. You grab it yourself. As Dao sticks out her tongue at me teasingly, the sound of heavy footsteps and a familiar voice echoes from the front door. Maybe going on dates would benefit you, Mai. The large shadow of our chief officer looms over the dark tiled floor as he stomps in. Morning, Chief. He stops by my desk, pushing his golden framed glasses up his nose. Mai, your evaluation for this quarter just came in. Please come to my office. I quietly nod and follow him. The moment I close the door behind me, the chief officer slams a thick stack of papers on the table and flips through it in front of me. Look, you're scored perfectly on every single test: stress endurance, critical thinking, and problem solving. As expected. These results come as no surprise. I demonstrated diligence during my time at the police academy and have continued to put in significant effort at work over the past year. I have complete confidence in my abilities. But just as I'm about to flash a smug smile, the chief's officer lets out a deep sigh. Your empathy and emotional assessment results are concerning. According to the test, your scores for self-awareness of your own emotions and understanding others' emotions are quite low. Furthermore, your baseline empathy seems to be lacking. My gaze flicks upwards, not again. I respectfully disagree with the results, sir. I believe the test design itself is at fault. I have no problem with emotions. I raise my fingers to gesture air quotes. I don't understand why emotional assessment is even a part of this test. On the field, it's crucial to maintain a rational and analytical mindset. As long as I follow the clues and the principle of deduction, I can solve any case. Besides, with my almost photographic memory, I can recognize people's body language just fine. I have no idea why the test results always come out like this. The chief officer slumps on his chair and looks at me through his eyebrows, his voice serious. If you truly aspire to excel in this line of work, logic alone is not sufficient. You are a police officer after all. You must be able to understand the emotions of individuals around you to handle different situations. But, there exists a distinct boundary between analytical thinking and a deficiency in emotional awareness. The latter can lead one closer to a criminal mindset. Do I need to enroll you in additional training with a psychiatrist? I look down on the floor, to the floor, and not sure how to respond. All right, enough reprimanding for me. I know you are a good kid and you do your job well, but you better get that score up in the next quarter. As for this morning, let's onboard you for the new case. He pulls out a stack of photos from a thick folder on the desk. This is the third museum break-in in the city within the past month. The culprit has targeted specific showcases but hasn't taken anything yet. It seems as if they are searching for something, however, we have no video evidence as they've managed to disable the cameras prior to entry. I take a look at the photos spread out on the table, photos seemingly pulled from a museum's artifact log of different antique objects, ranging from vases, clothing, and jewelry. Judging by the pattern and material of the objects, they probably belong to the early 19th century. What do you think their motive is? Not sure if this is just a prank or they are looking for something specific to steal, but there is a connection. A connection. All the artifacts that they roamed through belonged to Empress La Femme. Empress La Femme. I remember learning about her in school. Yes, the first and only female ruler of our nation. Her death became one of the country's most significant murder mysteries due to the destruction of most written records about the incident. I recall that some historians proposed the theory that she was assassinated by one of her male consorts. But there was insufficient evidence to definitely identify which one or even back up the claim. Mike, can I trust you to lead this case? I have received a lot of pressure from the press as the artifacts associated with the Empress have become highly valuable. Pursing my lips into a line, I give the chief officer a small but determined nod. Of course, Chief, I won't let you down. The chief officer points his index finger at me with a teasing grin. But don't work too late today, kiddo. Go on that date. I'll let you finish work early so you can get prepared. First my aunt, now him too. Before I can think of a witty comeback to show my annoyance, the sound of Dao's boots stomping into the room shakes the floor. Boss, there is another museum breaking downtown. I wonder if this was the same suspect. How bold of them to rob a museum in the middle of the day. Standing up from his leather chair, the chief officer strides over and taps on the desk with 2 fingers. I need you to head over to the crime scene immediately. If the suspect is still there, call for backup and don't try to handle it yourself. Stay safe out there. Nodding to him, I grab my car keys. Yes, Chief, I will. I quickly drive to the museum. Getting out of the car, I take in one last drag of my cigarette before crushing its glowing tip against the hard concrete pavement with the heel of my boot. Upon the nicotine kicking in, I stride to the entrance of the museum. The museum is closed for the day and not a soul can be seen. No guard, no staff, no guest, and someone has shattered the glass entrance door. I cautiously step inside, an eerie silence envelops me. Something is unsettling about this. I dart my eyes around. For some reason, I sense that the suspect is still here. Boss said I shouldn't engage myself if I think the suspect is still here. Suddenly my stomach tightens with thrill as if an inexplicable force is pulling me towards the entrance, compelling me to step inside. This feeling. Scratch that, since when do I listen to orders? I click my tongue, determined to investigate this place. As the broken white light flickers, I squint, struggling to discern the path ahead. I advance towards the inner exhibition. If the suspect is here, they must be in the main exhibition upstairs. In the hushed stillness of the main hall, a mere whisper of faint footsteps graces the wooden floor. At first, they are barely perceptible, like distant echoes floating in the air. But with every passing second, they grow louder, sending a tingling sensation up the hair on the nape of my neck. Someone is here. Who's there? This is the police. I call out into the dark hallway, but no response comes except the clicking noise of the broken lamp on the ceiling. With my breath held, I pull out my gun, pointing it forward. I cautiously move forward into the corridor, following the faint sound of footsteps. Then a voice echoes in the air, distant yet chillingly close. Finally, you've come. It's muffled and distorted, making it impossible to pinpoint the speaker's age or gender. My heart thumps wildly. I swing in a 360-degree angle, trying to trace the source of the sound around me. Show yourself. This is the police. Put your hands up and don't move. I demand, my voice steady but my nerves on edge. You think you can run away from fate? The voice taunts, sending a chill down my spine. I quickly reach for the radio to call for backup, but all I get is a buzzing noise. Damn it, the radio is broken. I'm on my own now. Suddenly, hurried footsteps in the room next door break the silence. Adrenaline courses through my veins as I give chase towards the door, determined to catch this elusive intruder. With my back pushed against the wall, I advance into the room with caution. You're destined to die. The voice continues, laughter echoing through the room as I follow it. I wince. Does this person know me? What do they mean? Stop talking nonsense. Surrender peacefully and we can make a deal. With my hand firmly holding the gun, I keep moving towards the source of the sound, only to find nothing but the glass exhibit cases spreading all the way to the end of the hall, as if they are swallowing me. How about you embrace your fate? The voice stunts again, this time sounding like it's right behind me. Startled eyes spin around. There, just centimeters away, stands a figure cloaked in black with a conical hat obscuring their face. How? My eyes widen, my words trail off in shock. Ah! I let out a faint murmur as a searing pain shoots through my body. My legs giving way beneath me and sending me crashing to the ground. The gun slips from my fingers as my body goes numb with a dull, aching cold. I look down to my chest where I see a sharp object protruding from my shirt. My hand trembles as I reach to touch it, feeling a warm wetness spreading over my skin and staining my clothes a deep shade of red. Did I get stabbed? Despite being in a state of panic fueled by adrenaline, I am acutely aware that the stab wound is dangerously close to my heart. And in just a few seconds, the world shifts around me. My hand moves too slow to catch the fleeing figure, my senses dulling as my body begins to drag me down. A drone-like hum buzzes in my skull, drowning out the noise of the world around me. I strain my glimpse at the suspect, but the big hat conceals their identity. In the edge of my vision, a flicker of red light illuminates the wound on my body. My wound is glowing. This object. The last image I am able to capture is the shape of the object that stabbed me. It's a hair stick. My eyelid grows more and more heavy as the darkness completely takes over. So May 25, 1845. 220 days till the murder. Your Majesty. My ears ring with the muffled sound of voices around me. Your Majesty. At first, I can't make out what they are saying, but as my senses gradually return, the voices become clearer and more distinct. Did I die? I furiously blink to chase the blinding white light in my vision away. Your Majesty, you are awake. The soft, silky texture of the fabric underneath me gives it away that I am lying on a bed. My body feels heavy and my mind is still groggy, but I can make out the shapes of a group of people standing and looking at me from above. Pray to the Jade Emperor, the Empress is awake. Are they talking to me? I dart my eyes around as my first instinct is to assess whether or not I am in danger, but it doesn't seem so. Their anxious expressions become more obvious as my vision sharpens. The strange men are obstructing my view of the room, but still I manage to take a glimpse of the ceiling, which has some wooden trim and a tilted roof. This doesn't look like a normal room. This is not a hospital. They don't look like doctors. Is this heaven? What happened? Where have you been, Your Majesty? Your Majesty? Why do they keep calling me that? Am I in one of those reality shows? I peer over their shoulders at the golden mirror near the bed and blink at the image of myself, still dressed in my police uniform. Who are you? Your Majesty, we are your royal doctors. Royal doctors? You suddenly disappeared 3 days ago. Consort Tantun organized and led a search for you for 3 days straight, and you appeared unconscious this morning near the river. So he was the one that organized the search and found me 3 days after. I mean, he could be the one like hiding me for 3 days. We don't know. We were so worried for you. They exchanged a concerned look at my outfit, damp, covered with dirt and blood-stained. But also, what are you wearing, Your Majesty? They are clearly mistaking me for someone else. Your Majesty, you're finally awake. Oh, it's a girl. I lift my gaze up just to see a familiar face running into the room. Dao stands there, dressed in a similarly strange historical outfit, her eyes teary. Dao, what prank are you doing to me now? Is this a reality show or something? I swing up to a seated position and grab her shoulder. What are you talking about, Your Majesty? I am Lan, your maid. I was so worried about you. Dao's body tenses in my grab. Her eyebrows almost touch her forehead. Not funny, Dao. Tell me what is going on. I bet there is a camera crew right outside. Biting my lips, I prop myself up from the bed and drag my exhausted body out of the room. I need to see what kind of movie set I am on right now. As I step outside, my jaw almost drops. What on earth? There is no camera crew or director. I rub my eyes at the side in front of me. Huge buildings with yellow curved roofs. Where am I? I look back at the group of people and everyone is looking at me concerned. Your Majesty, what if this is not a prank? Your Majesty, I failed at ensuring your safety 3 days ago. I deeply regret my carelessness as you suddenly vanished during our walk. Yeah, it could have been our friend too. We don't know. It could have been like this maid. Please punish me accordingly, for I am unworthy to continue living in your service. I narrow my eyes, attempting to study the girl before me. Something feels off. It is true that this is the face of my friend Dao, the shape of her eyes, the contour of her face, but upon closer inspection, it becomes apparent that this is not her. The absence of the distinctive beauty mark atop her nose. Does she have like something in there? I don't see it. An unmistakable mark of identity shatters any doubts. Okay. How can someone bear such a striking resemblance to Dao? Is this a mere coincidence? What is it that you say my name is again? The strange men quickly drop down on their knees in front of me in their loose robes. They keep bowing over and over again, hitting their heads on the floor continuously as if they are scared of what I said. We beg you not to toy with us. You are Empress Le Femme, the heaven god's daughter, the ruler of the Daviet. Empress Le Femme? We know we deserve to die for not finding you sooner, but please spare our peasant lives. Isn't that the Empress whose artifact got roamed through in my case, and the suspect? A sharp pain hums in my skull as I try to make sense of what had just happened. 1 moment ago I was in the museum, and the next I am here in this weird place. I look around, the expressions of the men around me as well as this place feel so real. Did I time travel? I clench my hand. There is no time dwelling on the pain. I have to remain calm and focused. They all seem to insist I am Empress La Femme, so I either look over her body or I look exactly like her. If this is not a dream, and if the history books were accurate, the real Empress La Femme will eventually be murdered, putting my own life in danger. I first need to make sense of what happened. This first task now is to pretend to be her and not create any chaos. Right, sorry for keeping you all worried. The group of people still look at me with puzzled eyes. I will need time to myself to think about how to create the perfect cover. I am tired now, let me rest. Of course, Your Majesty. They all bow and swiftly exit. I come back into the room and close the door behind me. I look around. The room is grand and spacious, with high ceilings adorned with intricate carvings. The walls are painted in rich shades of red and gold. It feels like it is lifted straight out of a period drama. I could have ended up in a worse place. Rubbing my temples with my fingers, I sigh. Countless questions swirl inside me. I wish I had a cigarette. How did I come here, and where is the real Empress? If dying was how I got here, would dying here return me to my world? Furthermore, if I were to attempt altering history, what unforeseen consequences might arise? Are there rules of time traveling that must not be violated, akin to those depicted in movies? However, as strange as it sounds, I feel my pulse quicken at a thrilling thought. It is that important to return home, or is this my opportunity to solve the biggest murder mystery of the nation? Either way, I must conduct my investigation here without delay, but as I rise to my feet, my body gives way, succumbing to exhaustion from the events that have transpired. Recognizing the need to prioritize my well-being, I decide to take a moment to rest and allow my mind to wander freely before succumbing to sleep. So, 219 days till the murder. I'm woken up by the loud creak of the door and a sudden intrusion of light piercing through my eyelids. Instinctively, my hand reaches out in search of my phone, only to discover its absence. Good morning, Your Majesty. I'm here to get you prepared. Your Majesty. Upon slowly opening my eyes, I realized that what happened yesterday was not a mere dream. The reality of my situation hits me hard as I look around the unfamiliar bedroom. This is not my room, but rather the room of an empress who lived centuries ago. The storm of questions slaps me again. Did I truly die? Did anyone look for me? I shrug half-heartedly. I doubt it. Anyways, no time for this yet. I need to stay focused. The only way to navigate through this time warp is to play her role to the best of my abilities. Prepare me for what? Maitland gives me a playful glance and then giggles. Your harem is waiting for you, Your Majesty. Did you know that the concubines were so worried about you? They have been lining up in the West Palace to greet you since the early morning. So the history records are right. She had a harem. Observing her harem and the people around her would be a great way to find out who she is and even who might have the motive to harm her. Looking down, I catch myself unconsciously picking at the cuticles as I contemplate the idea of meeting the man in her harem. The knowledge from history and television dramas warned me that harems were complex and potentially dangerous places, where every individual has his own agenda. With so many men gathering in one place, who knows what schemes and machinations they would set in motion? Can I maintain my cover? Your Majesty, let us get you dressed. Yes. It takes almost 2 hours for the maids to dress me in my attire and do my hair. Looking in the mirror, I barely recognize myself anymore. I had never felt this heavy in my life, wrapped in multiple layers of dresses with large sleeves that fall down to my knees. The worst part is that I can't change by myself. I remain in a rigid posture while the maids touch up my powder. I despise other people touching me. All of this etiquette must have been exhausting for the Empress. However, as I am playing her role, I need to force myself to act normal. As the maids and guards escort me to the West Palace, I cannot help but gasp at the grandeur of the architecture. The palace is much larger than I could have imagined. There are buildings after buildings, each with curved roofs adorned with intricate ornate details throughout, using vibrant colors of red and yellow. The buildings are connected by a series of walkways and bridges, creating an interconnected network of stunning architecture. It is a truly breathtaking sight. Too bad I'm not on a tour. I am here with a mission. A dangerous one indeed. Stepping into the main hall of the West Palace, my throat is dry as I grasp the sheer number of young men in this room. They are all dressed in intricately designed colorful attire with 19th century style loose robes decorated with hand-sewn traditional symbols. Their hair is long and meticulously done in different hairstyles. The room is filled to capacity. This must be the Emperor's concubines. In feudal eras, concubines were individuals who belonged to the ruler but did not hold any official marital or political status. The ruler possessed the privilege of engaging with them intimately at their discretion. The concubines' burning gazes follow my every step on the path to the throne, making the air in my lungs tight. Their faces all perked up and exchange flirtatious looks with me as I walk by. Some furtively, others more brazenly. My hand unconsciously pulls at my sleeves. As a policewoman, working with men is not new to me, but being surrounded by so many who appear to desire me is an entirely different experience. I clench my jaw, detesting myself for feeling this nervous. When I arrive at the stairs, go with the stars. When I arrive at the stairs to the throne, my eyes are drawn to 3 men who stand out from the sea of faces. They are seated closer to the throne than the others, indicating their elevated status. These must be the Emperor's consorts. They all stand up when I approach. Consort Vu Huyen greets your Majesty. The man with delicate features saunters in front of me. His light-colored hair and amethyst purple eyes indicate he's a foreigner. With 2 hands placed together in the air, he lowers his head in a formal bow. His eyes look up at me through his eyelashes with a flirtatious smile. I was so worried about you. There was not a night I could sleep without knowing where you were. I can't help but notice the softness of his voice and the way he plays with his hair with his fingers. It is almost too feminine for a man, but he wears it with confidence. He is strikingly beautiful even for modern beauty standards. I furrow my eyebrow and clear my throat as I catch those thoughts. Kissing ass will not help you get promoted in the harem, Vu Huyen. You are merely a toy to her. The tall man dressed in all black abruptly cuts off Vu Huyen. His face frowns as he folds his arms across his chest, signaling his annoyance. I quickly scan him, noticing the words Consort Dui Kan engraved on his name tag. He probably snuck out to go have fun somewhere, huh? Dui Kan gives me a quick glance and rolls his eyes, his arms still crossed. So he thinks we were the ones that just got out. Okay. It is strange that he's not following any palace greeting etiquette like Vu Huyen, even displaying disrespect towards the empress. Consort Min Quang greets your majesty. I am so happy you are back. I've missed my wife. The man in red runs towards me with a quick bow, but then quickly turns to Dui Kan with a smug glance. Dui Kan, don't be an hypocrite and call others toys. We all know what the Empress does to you at night. Ha 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 ha. What do I do with him? You. Min Quang lets out a boisterous laugh. His movements are bold and arrogant, suggesting a certain level of childishness. Dui Kan scoffs and shoots him an annoyed look. The two men lock eyes in a tense exchange, their gazes burning with animosity. I did not expect to witness so much drama on the first day that I am thrusted into this world. Perhaps historical dramas about harem fighting do not exaggerate things at all. In an instant, the thick red carpet beneath my feet quivers with fast-paced footsteps. A solemn and serious voice cuts through the air of tension like daggers. Enough, both of you. Her Majesty has just recovered and you two are already fighting. Where is your dignity as consorts? A man in white steps in between them. A hush falls over the room. His serious and mature demeanor catches my attention immediately. His hair is neatly tied up in a traditional bun, revealing his chiseled jawline and adding to his scholarly appearance. Yeah, I'm really sorry if I'm like, I bet I am pronouncing a lot of things in here not in the correct way, but I'm kind of like speeding up a bit the thing because yeah, I really need to speed it. So that's why like it's going to come out like whatever in whatever way. The other consorts drop their gazes to the floor. I noticed a high-ranking official designation on his name tag, which only adds to his air of authority. So this is Tang Tung, the head of the harem, who led the search for the Empress according to the royal doctors. Okay, so he's on top. Okay. Your Majesty, I apologize for their behavior on my behalf. I hope you feel better now. Usually, like, these type of people, they would end up being, like, because this is reverse in here. Yeah, he would end up being, like, probably the one chosen to be the emperor. Because he was on the top of the consorts. As Tang Tung approaches me, he makes a graceful bow with a tone of utmost politeness and respect. However, his facial expression is icy cold, and his gaze is fixed on the ground instead of looking at me. I rub my hands down my thighs, trying to hide the clamminess of my palms. These are the 4 men that are supposedly close to the Empress. How do I maintain my cover in front of them? Well, the first lesson about staying undercover... Well, the first lesson about staying undercover as a police officer is to adopt the demeanor of your assumed role. I clear my throat, steadying my voice to speak up in a slow and clear manner. Consort Tang Tung, you were the one who led the search group to find me. For that, I thank you. With 2 hands in front of his chest, Tang Tung bows again. You are the ruler of the country, the one our citizens depend on. I was just merely carrying out my duty as a consort. Through my eyelashes, I catch a glimpse of his face, remaining emotionless. I gesture for everyone to sit down and the ceremony begins. Throughout the morning, a procession of concubines, royal members, court officials, and scholars file into the West Palace, greeting me individually. The court officials incessantly ask me all sorts of questions throughout the day. Everyone is eager to know why the Empress disappeared 3 days ago. Your Majesty, where have you been in the last 3 days? The court was so worried about you. To safeguard my true identity, I must respond with intentional vagueness. Perhaps I can use the excuse of a head injury affecting my memory. I ventured out for a leisurely stroll. Unfortunately, I misstepped and hit my head. I appreciate your concern regarding my well-being. As the ceremony nears its conclusion, I press my fingers gently against my temples, wincing as a throbbing pain pulsates in my forehead. The whole morning I have been exerting myself by observing everyone that came to greet the Empress and mentally taking notes of their appearances and demeanors. Besides Vu Huyen's snappy attitude with his frequent sarcastic remarks, all interactions with these people seem to be outwardly positive and follow proper etiquette. Of course, it might be only on the surface. In the game of power and politics, anyone can have the motive to assassinate the Empress. As the gong sound marks the end of the ceremony, a huge sigh escapes my nostrils. My Empress who would murder you. Okay, to be continued. Chapter 1. Oh, I thought when they said like to be continued, I thought it was like the end of the demo. Honestly. Oh, it's the same, 219 days till the murder, so we're still on the same day. Once the grating ceremony concludes, I decide to take a leisurely stroll by myself before retiring to my chamber. It appears that there are no further engagements on my agenda for the day, providing me with an opportunity to acquaint myself with this vast palace. Knowing its layout and surroundings is essential to navigate through the days ahead. While wandering around, I can't help but admire the sheer size of the palace. It's a labyrinth of buildings, each one more impressive than the last. In modern times, this place has been transformed into a popular tourist attraction. However, it appears much larger than I remember from my childhood visit in my timeline. Perhaps over the years, the architecture has been altered and condensed. I bit my lips, contemplating the possibilities of my next moves. The entire palace is heavily guarded, with patrols changing shifts regularly. Escaping from here would be nearly impossible. If the Empress were to disappear again, the imperial court would mobilize search parties to find her. But beyond the security measures, I believe the key to unraveling the mystery of the time travel incident and the Empress' eventual murder lies right here, in the heart of the palace. A fluttery feeling burns in my chest as the notion of her murder mystery comes up. I need to solve her murder mystery, whatever it takes. Now the first question is there a link between the Empress and myself? It seems evident that she bears a striking resemblance to me, or at least that is the perception others hold. But who is she truly beyond her physical appearance? In my time, historical records about her are sparse, offering only glimpses of her notable accomplishments. My knowledge of her personal life remains limited. I wish there was internet in this world. Things would be so much easier. Ah, how I've missed my phone. Perhaps I must go with more traditional investigation approaches here. There ought to be a royal library somewhere containing records that shed light on her background. Eek, eek. What is that noise? Eek, eek. Oh, I see. Is that a peacock? A magnificent peacock adorned in a resplendent coat of deep emerald feathers dashes across my path. Stop there, you stupid bird. Ming Kuang, breathing heavily, fervently pursues the peacock. His rhythmic thumping of running footsteps sends the garden path into a frenzy of rustling leaves. Oblivious to my presence, concealed behind a towering tree, he remains fixated on his pursuit. Why is he chasing after the peacock in the palace like that? What should I do? This is your first time encountering a choice in the story. Some choices lead to more useful information for the case, and some choices might lead to bad endings. Choose wisely. Oh my god, can I save during this? I can. I don't want bad endings. Let's follow him then. Let's see what this is all about. With a vigilant gaze, I survey my surroundings, silently tailing Ming Kuang in his pursuit of the peacock until a stern voice brings him to an abrupt stop. Swiftly, I seek refuge once more, concealing myself behind a wooden pillar. Consort Ming Kuang, what are you doing? Tang Tung stands in front of Ming Kuang, with his arms crossed, his eyebrow arched. Tang Tung, with all due respect, it's none of your business. Ming Kuang lifts his gaze to the sky. It is, as the head of the harem, my responsibility is to make sure everything in the harem is in order. Well, I assure you everything is in order. Ming Kuang glares at the peacock, who is now hiding behind Tang Tung. Tell me, Ming Kuang, why are you trying to steal a peacock from the palace? Are you aware that it's Her Majesty's property? How dare you make such a ridiculous accusation? I, Ming Kuang, the only son of the richest merchant in the country, have to steal a peacock from the palace. I can have any beast in the world if I want to. Tilting his head, Tang Tung narrows his eyes, his voice retaining its stern and icy tone. But this is not just any beast, is it? This is the peacock raised specifically to be an ingredient of a royal dish. It takes years of complex process to raise one. I have also noticed a lot of special ingredients in the royal kitchen have been disappearing lately. I hope the son of the richest merchant in the country is not behind it. Ming Kuang lets out a sigh of frustration and raises both hands in a gesture of surrender. Fine, I give up. Keep the peacock. You are no fun. I squint my eyes at this revelation. I once heard that crispy rolls made with peacock meat was a famous dish that steamed from the royal palace of this period. I did not know it was a real thing until now. I wonder if that's what Ming Kuang was trying to make. After the two men leave, I start heading to the library as planned. Arriving at the library, I am greeted at the door by the elderly man in a loose steel robe with big sleeves. Greetings, Your Majesty. I'm the eunuch who takes care of the library. What can I help you with today? I quickly scanned the man in front of me. Eunuchs are castrated men who served in the palace courts, who held significant roles in the court and had various responsibilities. I have seen them in period dramas and from history books, but did not expect to meet one in real life like this. I'm looking for all the records about me and my family that exists in this library. The old eunuch bows down to me, his voice stutters. I have noticed that many maids and servants seem to stumble on their words while speaking to the Empress. I wonder why. Your Majesty, recently there was an unfortunate event of fire spreading in the library that destroyed a section reserved for the royal family. Do you know what caused the fire? Please forgive me, but we haven't found out yet, Your Majesty. But since then, we've added more guards to make sure the place is safe and secured. A fire that destroyed a specific section. How convenient. Was this a mere accident? However, Your Majesty, we were able to save one book from that fire. Let me go get it for you. As the eunuch is about to run inside to retrieve the book, I hear a familiar voice from the corner. Are you looking for this, Your Majesty? Ming Quan, leaning against a bookshelf, is holding a book with a blue cover with two fingers. Consort Ming Quan, apologies, I did not see you there. I should let you and the Empress talk in private. Your Majesty, I shall take my leave. Wait! The eunuch can't hear me as he hastily strides outside the room. My neck stiffens. I realize this is my first time interacting with a consort in a private setting. I'll better be careful not to expose myself. However, this Ming Quan man, judging by his appearance and demeanor, I observed earlier today, seemed to be a simple man. What are you looking for in this book? Ming Quan raises his chin at me. It's none of your business. I cross my arms, maintaining an emotionless face. Doesn't matter, I have it first. Advancing with an air of arrogance, he approaches me. His eyes scan me from head to toe, a glint of mischief flickering within them. Such a rude man. He playfully waves the book in his hand, as if teasingly dangling it before me. Tell me, what are you looking for in this book first, and I'll give it to you. I tilt my head to the side, determined to not give in to his words. I am the Empress. I order you to give me the book. His defiant smirk widens, stretching from ear to ear. Your Majesty, Empress or not, you still have to abide by the library's rules. I borrowed this book first. Perhaps if I blackmail him with me knowing about him chasing the peacock, he will give it up. Give me the book or I'll tell the court about what you want to do with the peacock. Ming Quang's eyes spark with amusement as he combs his fingers through his messy red hair. Tell me, Your Majesty, what exactly do I plan to do with the peacock? You plan to turn it into a spring roll. You want to make a coat out of its feathers. I think it was for food, but I think it would be funny to put this one too, but I don't know. Okay, you plan to turn it into spring rolls. The thing with this one is that he might say like, oh yeah, but it was food for you, Your Empress. Do you understand? Like, he might say it like that. Ming Quang's smile drops as soon as he hears my answer. How did you know Dick Tung Tung snitched on me? Aha, I got him. I thrust out my chest and lift up my chin smugly. Like, if you are hearing my stomach is normal because I need to eat, I really need to eat. And I haven't eaten my breakfast yet. I need no one to tell me I am the Empress. I know a thing or two. What do you think the court officials would say if they find out you're stealing my property? His eyes widen. Oh, what would your father think? Ming Quan desperately waves his hand in front of me, signaling a pleading resolve. No, please. Please don't tell him. Sorry. He would disown me. Well, then tell me what exactly you are planning. Ming Quan lets out a weary sigh. His chin drops to his chest. The truth is, I'm trying to steal the royal kitchen's recipes. Recipes? Dropping his gaze to the floor, Ming Quan speaks in a low voice. Yes, I want to recreate some of the dishes we have in the palace. Why? Well, I want to open a restaurant in the capital. But your family is rich. Besides, you are my consort. Why would you want to work? It's not about the money, really. Ming Quan looks down to the floor. Since I was a kid, I've constantly carried the weight of disappointment in my parents' eyes. My father, a renowned merchant, effortlessly excels in every endeavor he undertakes. And then there's me, infamous for squandering my fortune in the depths of the theater district, indulging in reckless gambling. He sighs again. But now I want to break free from this cycle and prove my worth. If I can succeed in this restaurant business, maybe my parents will finally be proud of me. I study his face. Despite his arrogant and childish demeanors, he is simply a troubled rich kid yearning to earn the approval of his parents. We don't know. Maybe he's just saying this to kind of, to kind of get our pity. Do you understand? This insight reinforces my intuition that he is not connected to the Empress murder. Yeah. I thought you were a smart girl. Yeah. In addition, the information I overheard from the court officials during the ceremony today supports this conclusion. Ming Quang's family is well known for being a big supporter of the Empress, making it improbable that planning her demise would be advantageous. Instead, it would only bring him harm. Yeah, I'm not like that. I always I keep cautious all the time. It's like I cannot let that, you know. If that's your goal, I want to investigate any further. Now give me the book. He places the book in my hand. Let's agree that we are square today, Your Majesty, but remember you still owe me a wedding night. He mischievously winks at me. The implications of his words make my neck stiff in annoyance. Why is he so brazen? But does this mean they've never been intimate? Well, till next time, Your Majesty. He places a quick kiss on the back of my hand before swiftly making his exit from the library. Huh. I clench my teeth. That touch was quite unsettling. It's rather unfortunate that I now find myself as the Emperor, surrounded by a swarm of men attempting similar antics. I retreat to my chamber, clutching the ancient book titled Records of the Vu royal family in my hands. The script used in the book is a relic of the past, a form of writing that fell out of use in the Vet in the 20th century when the transition to Latin script took place. That means most of the people in my timeline can't read them anymore. Thankfully, my childhood fascination with languages has equipped me with the foundational knowledge to decipher this script. While it may take a long time to fully comprehend its contents, I feel confident in my ability to grasp the majority of the information without assistance. Turning the pages, I skip past accounts of distant ancestors, eager to delve into the origins of this dynasty. The Vong dynasty was established in the year 18 by Emperor Vu Huyen, marking the beginning of a new era in Davet's history. Under Emperor Liulong's rule, the dynasty would flourish and leave a lasting impact on the country's development and culture. Sorry, give me just 1 second. I need to get some water. I cannot. Is this getting into me? Sorry, it's because I'm hungry. My mouth is dry and I'm trying to read, and it's I reach a point that I'm not even thinking anymore. Okay, this must be the Emperor's father. His military prowess led to numerous victories in battles against the Shampai, continuously expanding Daviet territory. I learned about this at school. Shampai was a neighboring country in the south that eventually got absorbed by Daviet. Emperor Lelong had 2 children, former Crown Prince Vuong Lepong and Princess Vuong Lepang. Yeah, so I should have said Pam instead of Fam. Yeah, because I think they read it as a P. Yeah. Tragically, the Crown Prince Lepom met an untimely demise at the young age of 15 from an accident. Former Crown Prince, she had a brother? Emperor Leilong, faced with the absence of a male heir to succeed him, named Princess Lepam and the Crown Princess as the Crown Princess. Princess Lepam was renowned for her remarkable mastery of martial arts and intellectual pursuits since her childhood. However, traditionalists staunchly upheld the belief that the throne should remain solely in the hands of men, and they voiced their dissent loudly and publicly. This makes sense, as the society is highly patriarchal and women are viewed as inferior to men. In addition, concerns raised by the people in the country about Princess Lepam's ascension to the throne were rooted in an ominous prophecy delivered by a priest before her birth. According to the prophecy, the princess was believed to be cursed with dark magic. Her curse? Dark magic, a curse? Are they suggesting the involvement of mystical forces or magic? I flip to the next page. My heart sinks when I notice that the next few pages have been torn out. As I scour the pages of the book, I find no other mention of the prophecy or curse that was attributed to Princess Lepam. In modern times, the people of Daviet still maintain the tradition of worshipping ancestors and certain deities. However, I have always been skeptical of supernatural phenomena and dismissive of such beliefs. Yet, confronted with the inexplicable circumstances that have transported me to this world, I cannot help but wonder. If it is possible that some form of magic or otherworldly influence has brought me here against my will. I hurriedly turned the pages to find the dedicated section for Empress Lepam. At the beginning of the section, I see an ink portrait that makes my mouth fall open. It's a portrait of myself, or rather Empress Lepam. How is it possible that we look exactly alike? What is even more strange is, according to this record, we share the same birthday and she is at the same age as me now. Through her exceptional leadership, Empress Lepam emerged victorious in the ultimate battle with Champai, capital city, bringing an end to a 2-century-long war between the two nations. This triumph not only secured the incorporation of Champai into Daviet, but also played a pivotal role in influencing the emperor's decision to designate her as the rightful heir to the throne. Thus, Princess Lepam became the country's first female ruler, leaving an indelible mark on history. While I personally hold a stance against any form of warfare, I cannot deny the fact that Empress Lepam achievements make her a truly remarkable and formidable woman. It's so hard for me, you have no idea. Because I have my own language. I am reading your language. And then there's other languages in here. And it's just so messy in my mind. You have no freaking idea. I continue to peruse through the record book. It appears that her section is incomplete, as she is still alive now and the history is still being written. However, my eyes are drawn to a paragraph at the end. Empress Lepam had been betrothed to Tang Tung, the eldest son of Nguyen Tan family, since she was only 6 years old. It was widely known that Tang Tung was declared to be the prince consort, making their union even more significant. Tang Tung. Considering his family background and historical context, this arrangement seems logical. However, judging from my interactions with him, their relationship appears strained. Could he have any motive to harm her? Suddenly, my knee collides with a wooden object beneath the table where I'm seated. I bend down to inspect it, noticing a meticulously carved square shape. What is this? Intrigued, I press on the shape, causing a hidden compartment to spring open from the desk. Despite having thoroughly searched this room before, I had overlooked this hidden place. Inside the compartment, a collection of small, delicate papers with ink written on them lay. I pick one up. To my Empress? In the tranquil embrace of a starlight night, I find solace in your beauty, pure and bright. Like the gentle breeze that caresses the trees, your presence a soothing melody that puts my heart at ease. These are love poems addressed to the Empress. There are no names or indication of the sender's identity. I wonder if these verses originated from one of her consorts, and if so, from whom they might have come. Your Majesty, someone is looking for you. The sound of Lan's breath, heavy and rapid, fills the room along with the echoing footsteps. I told you I need time alone to read, and no one could come in. I apologize, Your Majesty, but it's... The room catches a gust of wind as a figure dressed in white steps in. Tung Tung gives a polite bow to me. Apologies for finding you this late, Your Majesty, but I am here with an important reminder. Speak of the devil? I have come to remind you of your obligation to attend the Imperial Court tomorrow morning. In your absence over the past few days, chaos has gripped the court. Please do not forget your duties and responsibilities as a ruler. And you had to come now, that I was like doing my thing in here and said no one could come in. Oh, God. His words flow from his lips with the absence of any eye contact. His voice carrying an air of polite detachment. I furrow my brows. The day I have been dreading finally arrives. Now, because I'm the Empress, I am now obliged to involve myself in court affairs. However, I have no prior experience in politics, let alone governing an entire nation. Yes, I understand. Then I shall take my leave. I will come and escort you to the throne room in the morning. Tung Tung's presence suddenly reminds me of the record of the Emperor's heritage. If they are childhood friends, perhaps he knows about the curse mentioned in the book. I wonder if I ask him about it, would he suspect that I am not her? I have my suspicions about this guy. Don't ask him. No, forget it. I don't want to risk exposing my cover to him now. I perhaps can find another way to get this answered. All right, see you tomorrow, Tung Tung. Yes, Your Majesty. He bows respectfully before swiftly exiting the room without even looking at me. I wrinkle my nose at his shadow leaving my room. Why is this man so cold? I wonder what happened between him and the Empress. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I do not feel like we are totally okay to be like asking questions. Not yet. Like, maybe there's no reason for me to be suspicious of this guy. It's just like, I still don't feel it with any of them, to be open. I shift my gaze towards Lan, who's standing with one hand clutching the other, eyes fixed on the floor. I'm also suspicious of her, so I don't know. Over the past day, our interactions have revealed that Lan bears a striking resemblance to my friend Dao, not only in appearances but also in her demeanor. Strangely, I have an inexplainable sense that she poses no threat, and I believe I can use her for my investigation as long as I safeguard my true identity. Well, yeah, okay. Lan, how much do you know about Tung Tung? Your Majesty, why are you asking? He's your... I forgot, your head. Clearing her throat, she begins to talk. Consort Tung Tung holds a high rank in the court, even though he is technically your consort. His family is close friends with the former emperor, your father, and he grew up with you. He's not only an honorable man, but also the most sought-after man in the capital. While speaking, Lan's eyes slightly sparkle up, like she's talking about an idol. There is a rumor that women from all over the place line up every day just to catch a glimpse of him, but he insisted on being a consort in the harem. But as long as I can remember, you and he have always seemed to be very. Please pardon me for commenting. For commenting, Your Majesty. But you and him have always been very distant, and you have never consummated your marriage. So I was not imagining that some sort of conflict existed between Tantum and the Empress. Other people can feel it too. Perhaps he feels trapped within the confines of the harem, yearning for freedom and seeking solace in the arms of another lover. Lan's words raise intriguing questions about his motives. Why would an honorable man resort to such drastic measures as plotting to kill the Empress? There must be a deeper, more significant motivation driving his actions. Nonetheless, tomorrow will be a good opportunity to find an answer. After Lan leaves the room, I let the sensation of the silky bed sheet swallow me as I sink into the mattress. My mind buzzes like a swarm of restless bees with a million thoughts when suddenly a melancholic melody wafts through the air emanating from a distant string instrument. This music. Its undulating notes, both seductive and sorrowful, mixed with the smoky sage scent from the incense, makes my heart race. I shut my eyelids, savoring the sound. Irrational as it may sound, it feels as though the musician understands me. As the night's darkness envelops me, I gradually surrender to sleep, allowing myself to be carried away by the melody. Where does this melody come from? To be continued. Chapter 2. What? To my I was like, what? To my Empress, the scent of pages of fragrance so divine ignited a passion that would forever shine, the soft rustle of paper a gentle caress, echoing the tenderness our hearts possess. Okay, 218 days till the murder. I wake as the first rays of sun gently brush against the horizon. The air is crisp and alive with the songs of birds echoing outside the window. As soon as I step out of my chamber, the first thing my eyes land on is the back of a familiar figure dressed in white. Tantung is leaning on the rail of the balcony. I'm not sure how long he has been waiting for me. Greetings, Your Majesty. Are you ready to attend the court today? I sigh and give him a nod. Do I even have a choice? The air hangs stagnant like a forgotten attic when Tantung and I stride along the long corridor towards the courtroom. There is no sound except our rhythmic footsteps pounding on the hardwood floor. Through the corner of my eyes, I steal a glance at him. The white strand of hair falling on his face makes him look even icier. Maybe I should strike up some conversation to gauge his personality. So how is the Imperial Court lately? Without looking at me, words spew from his mouth in a reprimanding tone. The court has been chaotic since your disappearance. And even before that, you were not consistent in going to the court. Since you fully recovered, I advise you quickly come back to the throne and handle it. A sigh escapes from his lips. With all due respect, you need to step up and be more responsible. You, out of all people, know how vulnerable our country is from the inside out. Especially after the war we won, which cost us so much money and soldiers. These court officials could not wait for you to fail so they could stir up trouble. There have been a lot of complaints from them about you focusing too much on increasing the size of your harem. I raise my eyebrow in surprise at this comment. History classes in my timeline taught us that Empress Lipam was a delicate and wise ruler. I wonder if Tang Tung is trying to give her genuine advice or trying to express his own opinions about the urim. Tell me, Tang Tung, are you disapproving of me expanding the urim? He comes to a halt and turns towards me with a grave expression. I'll rather not talk about private matters here. It's time for the court proceedings now. Tang Tung pushes the red wooden gate open, leaving a clear path into the courtyard leading to the throne room. The expansive space is decorated with gold embroidered umbrellas and meticulously arranged plants in oversized ceramic pots. On two sides, hundreds of officials wearing patterned traditional long robes fill up the courtyard. I assume each of their colorful attires represents a different rank. As my feet thread the courtyard path, the officials drop to the ground into a kowtow, their voices rising in unison. May the Empress live for 10,000 years, 10,000 years, 10,000 of 10,000 years. The scene in front of my eyes is something straight out of a movie. I can't believe I'm actually experiencing it firsthand. My hands secretly fidget inside my long sleeves. My mind buzzes with nervousness from the 100 pairs of eyes fixated on me. Inhaling deeply to steady myself, I enter the room with Tang Tung trailing closely behind. As I settle on the gold throne, a cold sensation from its surface spreads through my body. Here we go. Officials take turns stepping from the courtyard into the room to report all sorts of issues to me, from upcoming ceremonies to plans to renovate certain parts of the palace. They are mostly trivial matters that don't need my verbal responses. I just nod in agreement to each official. An hour has passed, and right when I start to feel sleepy, a report catches my ear. Your Majesty, there have been numerous complaints about animal blood and corpses scattered around residential areas. Animal? Yes, I personally suspect that those corpses were placed around as offerings by priests who perform dark magic for money, which is illegal in Daviet. My ears perk up. First the Empress curse, now magic. Whether magic is real or not, this is an intriguing lead for me to pursue. But perhaps I shouldn't ask too many questions about how magic works right now in front of these officials. It might raise suspicion about my identity. Tang Tung sent out more investigators to look into this case and report back to me about who these priests are. Yes, Your Majesty. As soon as the official who reported about dark magic steps down to his position in the crowd, another official moves forward. Your Majesty, we have chosen a great date for you to officially announce a prince consort. Announce the prince consort, isn't it? I quickly steal a glance at Tang Tung, noting his eyebrows now crunched up into a knot. His gaze avoids mine. As he's the chosen prince consort, Tang Tung and I will soon have to partake into a ceremonial union to solidify our roles. Even though your harem may be rather full, it is customary to officially announce a prince consort. Only then will the people be content that you are following the will of heaven. All eyes are fixed upon Tang Tung, their gaze filled with anticipation and expectation, as if the outcome of him being the prince consort is already predetermined. I wonder how he feels about this. And when exactly is this ceremony? It's December 13th, Your Majesty. December 13th. Hold on, why does this day sound familiar? A small gasp escapes my throat. This is the day the Empress is supposed to be assassinated. As her death day will eventually be turned into a national memorial day to honor all significant female historical figures of our country. Being overwhelmed with learning about this new world made me forget to find out how much time I have left. 7 months. 7 months to solve my own murder before it happens. An uncontrollable small smirk curls on the corner of my lips. I'm confident that I can do it. The officials go on reporting more issues to me for another hour. After the court is adjourned, they slowly leave the hall one by one. As Tung Tung is about to leave, I stop him. I've decided that I need someone to help fill me in with knowledge about magic, and there's no one more suitable than Tung Tung to assist me. Tung Tung, don't leave just yet. I need your help with something. Yes, Your Majesty? I need you to advise me on something. Tung Tung's eyes scrutinize me under the soft light of the lantern next to us. Advise you? The thing is, I hit my head pretty hard when I disappeared, and I forgot what happened during those 3 days, and I also forgot about a lot of courtly knowledge and etiquette. I purse my lips, trying to sound convincing. I believe no one is closer to me or more capable of helping me sharpen my knowledge of political matters than you are. Tung Tung tilts his head with squinted eyes. This is the first time you seem interested in court affairs, Your Majesty. He clears his throat. I suppose I can help what you want to know. I want to learn more about magic. Earlier, the court officials reported black magic being used in the capital. I want to fully understand the issue. I'm glad to hear that you are taking this matter seriously, and I think I can help you, as one of my relatives is a priest and owns a temple. However, it will take more than a couple of hours to go over everything I know. We will meet in the library at 5. He says sternly before striding away, not looking at me once. Following a taxing and worrisome afternoon, sifting through the court officials' complaints, I head to the library I had promised Tung Tung. With a wrinkled forehead while walking, I ponder over the next question: is magic real? While I'm skeptical about the existence of magic in this world, I am not dismissing it entirely just yet. Regardless, I'm determined to get to the bottom of this mystery soon enough. A stunned voice breaks the air right when I step on one foot into the library. Greetings, Your Majesty. I didn't think you would come. Narrowing my eyes, I wonder, what does he mean? I close the door behind me, finding my seat as Tung Tung takes his place across the table from me. Your Majesty, what do you want to know? I want to know about people's beliefs and magic practices in Da Viet. Under the soft glow of dimly lit lanterns, Tung Tung begins to speak, his gaze meandering across the table, avoiding direct eye contact with me just as before. For thousands of years, our people have faithfully followed the special rituals of honoring our ancestors and showing great respect for certain gods and goddesses. These beliefs are deeply rooted in our understanding of Taoism, along with elements of Confucianism, Buddhism, and local customs. Can I observe magic? It is believed that the manifestation of magic are not immediate, but rather subtle outcomes of certain actions that activate its hidden forces behind the scenes. For instance, through the act of praying to our ancestors or invoking the favor of specific gods, we can beseech for blessings such as good fortune, abundance, or well-being. So this belief system is exactly the same as modern beliefs. It's going to be challenging to provide concrete evidence for the existence of magic when it cannot be observed directly. As someone who is skeptical, I only believe in things that can be proven scientifically. So can I practice this so-called magic? Tung Tung shakes his head lightly. The practice of magic is not accessible to all. It is a sacred art reserved for the selected few who possess the wisdom, discipline, and inner strength necessary to harness its potential. These individuals, often priests or monks, undergo rigorous training and spiritual cultivation. What are the means by which the priests can harness this supposed magic? They believe in the power of talismans, spells, and incantations. Tung Tung pulls out a blue piece of paper from his sleeve. For example, this is a talisman that my acquaintance wrote for me. She put a spell on it that will supposedly give me good luck. What about dark magic? In order to invoke a spell, offerings must be presented to the gods, often in the form of benevolent acts performed by humans. These acts may include releasing a fish back into the water, making food or monetary offerings at temples, or praying. However, good gods are not the only ones who can accept offerings. Demons and corrupted gods can receive offers and grant wishes too, but they come with much higher prices. And these spells can be accessed through the practice of dark magic. Demons and corrupted gods? Just as yin and yang coexist in harmony, the forces of God and evil also exist side by side. While some individuals seek blessings such as health and wealth, there are others who harbor more sinister intentions, wishing to cause harm to others. The animal corpses we found on the streets were for this exact purpose. I sigh. As disturbing as it is, people would do anything to get what they want despite how superstitious it is. The only reason why I'm curious about magic in the first place is perhaps it can explain my time travel. Do you know if there is a spell that can let someone travel through time and space? Travel through time and space? I must admit, I have never come across such a concept before. Why do you want to know about it? I clear my throat, trying to be vague. Oh, it's just a passing thought. Considering that people can request things like longevity or good fortune, I was wondering if it would be possible for someone to ask for the ability to physically teleport or access other dimensions. I'm afraid I cannot provide such insight on that matter. Our kingdom hasn't heard about any instance of dark magic being practiced until recently. Do you know any priest I can find to get an answer? Royal priest Vu Huyen might know about it. Priest Vu Huyen. He raises his eyebrows at me. Yes, did you forget about him too? He is the one who took care of magic and rituals in the palace for the last 10 years. Also our childhood friend. Is your head still hurting? Tung Tung's gaze briefly meets mine before he averts his eyes. Yes, thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better now, although there are still moments when my memories become a bit hazy. I appreciate you filling in the missing information for me. I work a hard swallow in my throat. How long can I keep using this excuse that some of my memories are lost due to the fall before I expose myself? Please let the royal doctors know anytime you are still in pain. Even with caring words, Tung Tung's voice is still icy cold. For Priest Vu Huyen, you can find him in the royal altar when he gets back. He's currently out of the capital to collect herbs on the mountain. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about magic, there are a couple of books in this library that might benefit you. We begin our search for the books as suggested by Tung Tung. We decide to divide and conquer, with each of us taking responsibility for searching a specific corner of the library. I sigh as I take in the sheer amount of books in this library. It will take a while to look through them. I start looking raw by raw, shelf by shelf, section by section. After searching for what feels like forever, I rub my aching back as I look up. Okay, the only section I haven't searched is up there. Swiftly, I push myself on the wooden ladder step by step until I reach the top. My eyes dart around the top rows. In the dim light of the library, I have to squint hard to scan through the cover of each book. Perhaps it's on the top row. I raised my body up in a tiptoe, trying to pick at the row of books on top, when suddenly my feet jolt. A loud crack like a branch snapping underneath my slippers. In a millisecond, the wood surface below my feet splits apart. My fingers slip away from the rail I'm holding to, my feet stumble backward. I close my eyes, my heart crashes against my rib cage as I realize I'm about to hit the ground hard. But just as I brace for impact, my back slightly recoils as it falls into something soft. No, someone. Are you all right, Your Majesty? As I look up, I find myself staring directly into Tang Tung's eyes. So, like in Asia, you have like this thing of falling into your guy's arms. Okay, it's a thing they have in there. Okay, it's like they kind of feel like it's a predestined thing. If you fall into someone else's arms, like especially like a guy arms, it's like you are bound to be together. Okay, so like they have like this thing. I can feel his warm breath on me. His strong arms are still holding me securely. I nod slowly, can't help but notice how close we are and how his cold but piercing gaze lingers on my face. For a moment we just stay there. Time seems to stretch like a rubber band waiting to snap back. Then he helps me steady myself, his warm palm lingering on the small of my back for a moment longer than necessary, and then quickly pulls away as if he snaps out of something. Even though I am still rushing with adrenaline from the fall, I study his face with my squinted eyes, trying to make a deduction of what this reaction of his means. But I can't tell. My apologies, Your Majesty. He turns his back on me and quickly continues his search, leaving me to stand there with my thoughts. Is he avoiding getting close to the Empress? We spend the next hours sitting in silence, immersed in our reading. We have found nothing regarding black magic in all the books we pulled out. As the daylight wanes, the library grows dim, with only the warm flicker of an oil lamp on the table casting light. Tang Tung has not spoken a word since catching me, and his silence begins to make me uneasy. Why is he acting so strange? I take a quick glance at him from behind the pages. The last rays of the sun through the window fall across his icy cold expression as he is focusing on a book. Admittedly, Tang Tung isn't a bad man, at least as far as I have seen. He is a wise advisor, genuinely cares about the country, and has given honest counsel to the Empress. Maybe his reputation for integrity is well deserved. But what about his reputation with women? Do ladies in the city really line up just to catch a glimpse of him? Well, I can't blame them. Objectively speaking, he is quite good looking. As he turns and catches me staring, I notice a brief dilation of his pupils before he quickly averts his gaze. What's the matter, Your Majesty? I clear my throat, trying to hide the fact that I was just creepily staring at him. I have said this before, but I'll say it again. Thank you for leading the search for me when I disappeared. I was merely carrying out my duty, Your Majesty. His voice remains as cold and distant as usual. Did you find any leads about what happened to me? Nothing out of the ordinary. However, a guard discovered a name tag belonging to Consort Vu Huyen in the garden where you were last seen before disappearing. Vu Huyen. Vu Huyen was the first consort I noticed in the ceremony yesterday. I recall he was really affectionate towards the Empress. I could have reported this to you sooner, but I didn't think it was out of the ordinary, considering the amount of time you've been spending with Consort Vu Huyen lately. When the name Vu Huyen crosses Tang Tung's lips, I notice a tiny wrinkle on his forehead. I lightly tap my fingers on the desk. How interesting. It appears that I've stumbled upon a new clue regarding the Emperor's disappearance. However, before delving into that, I'm also here with another purpose to investigate the relationship between Tung Tung and the Empress. I understand, and one more thing about the upcoming Prince Consort ceremony. How do you feel about it? A flicker of surprise dances across his eyes as I pose the question, but it swiftly recedes, giving way to his familiar cold and composed demeanor. What I feel should not matter, Your Majesty. You should do what you see fit. I will serve you nonetheless. But I can feel as if he is clearly trying to hide his discomfort with his words. Maybe this is my opportunity to uncover the truth. I suppress a grin on my face. It's time to play the bad cop. I rise up from my seat and start pacing around him. I usually find this tactic to work effectively when interrogating suspects. Do you hate being my princess consort? I don't dare to, Your Majesty. Do you disapprove of my decision to expand the harem? I am merely a servant of the country. I have no right to disapprove of your lifestyle decisions. Lifestyle? Are you afraid I will spend too much government money to build a harem with all these luxurious palaces for my concubines and have extravagant ceremonies? He's still not looking at me. Our budget allows it. Or are you hating me for tarnishing your honorable reputation? He stutters. It is working. Or are you hating me for trapping you in the harem while you have many options as the most sought-out man in the country? Standing right behind where he sits, I try to sound sarcastic to evoke him. I bet you regret not being able to marry someone else. Upon hearing my remark, he lifts himself from the chair, and before I know it, he turns around with controlled swiftness. His hand slams on the shelf behind me. Yeah, now we have another one. Okay. Trapping me behind his chest and the shelf. His eyes, ablaze with smoldering rage, lock onto mine from above. He growls through his teeth. Don't dare think you can speak for me. What do you know about how I feel? My eye sparkles with amusement as it is surprised to see him break his usual formal and scholarly demeanor, but I can't deny that my interrogation technique is working. For the first time, he has stopped using his cold facade to hide his emotions. We are only a few centimeters apart, and I can feel the depth of his anger and his darkened eyes fixed on mine. But he is not only angry because I am mocking him, there is something else. Now tell me, how do you truly feel about the Empress? Realizing he has overstepped his bounds, he promptly steps back, releasing me from my blocked position. A heavy sigh escapes his lips. My apologies, Your Majesty. Let's keep our discussion strictly about matters of politics from now on. I shall take my leave. Tung Tung turns his heels around, striding away, not looking back at me once. It seems like the wall between him and the Empress is indeed very tall. Propping one arm on the library desk to support my cheek, I sink deep into contemplation. Now that I have upset Tung Tung, it will be challenging for me to approach him and investigate further. However, despite the conflict, I find it difficult to imagine someone as proud as Tung Tung committing treason. I may have to find an alternative approach to delve into his personal life later, but for now I must put that aside. I now have 2 new clues to worry about. First, Priest Vu Huyen might know something about dark magic. As skeptical about supernatural forces that I am, I still need to confirm that magic is not real to cross it off my list of time travel mechanisms. Besides, if he is the Emperor's childhood friend like Tung Tung, he might know something about her curse. But besides that, the most urgent lead to follow is Vu Huyen. Why was he near the place of the Emperor's disappearance? And now the crucial question arises, how do I approach him? That has nothing to do with it. Like, someone could have, like, steal his, what is his name? The seal or whatever, and put it in there, you know? You had like a lot of this type of intrigue. Right after I get back to my chamber, I let my body fall on the bed. It's been a long and exhausting day, but before I can enjoy the soft sensation of the silky bed sheet, a familiar high-pitched voice fills the room. Your Majesty, Your Majesty! Len hastily pushes open the door. Why is this girl always in such a hurry? What is it now? I forgot to tell you earlier, but I received news from the court that 3 nights from now will be a good night to choose an attendant, and we need to prepare that for you. I rise up to sit on the bed. An attendant? What does that mean? Len's cheeks flush with a light dust of pink. Yeah, I know why. It seems that you need to choose a man from your harem to spend the night with. Yes, that's an attendant, yeah. It is your duty as the Empress to ensure the continuation of the royal lineage by choosing an attendant on an auspicious day through the guidance of the court. Yeah, they like, they would choose like these days based on looking at the stars and all of it, you know, yeah. Spend the night with, does she mean? And then they would bring like they would bring all of the guys' names for usually the emperor, not the empress. But yeah, okay, for the empress in here to choose which one she wanted to spend that night with. Spend the night with, does she mean? I feel a quiver in my stomach. I know this is a part of the undercover mission, but the idea of spending the night with a man makes me feel uneasy. My fingers start to fidget on the hard table surface. No, I need to calm myself down first. Len, do we have cigarettes in the palace? Huh? My pardon? Her mouth drops at my question. Cigarettes like nicotine, the substance. Are you perhaps referring to the rolled nicotine? Do you say nicotine? I don't know how they say it. Nicotine from Western countries? Yes, the rolled ones. I forgot that there are modern words that people in the past would not understand. We don't have it, however, I have something you might like. Please wait, Your Majesty, I'll be right back. She rushes out of the door and swiftly returns carrying a porcelain bowl adorned with white and blue pattern. I've seen this type of traditional smoking bowl before in the museum. It's called a dew bat, used for smoking tuoplau, a potent form of nicotine. With efficiency, Lan pours water into the large bowl. Within it lies another bowl, shaped like a globe with small holes connected to a long pipe. She lights the small bowl and offers the pipe to me. Your Majesty. I take a deep puff from the pipe and the potent smoke rushes into my lungs, almost making me cough. Wow, this is strong. Despite the intensity, the nicotine gradually eases the tension in my muscles and forehead, leaving me with a blissful relief. I can finally focus again. Okay, where were we? Choosing the attendant, Your Majesty. That's right, I let out a heavy sigh. Even if I'm uncomfortable being in close proximity to a man, I still need to follow through if I want to pretend to be the Empress. Your Majesty, please place a dot next to an attendant name you are considering. Oh, she's not choosing the name tag. Because it was usually like, they would bring like the name tag and they would pick the name tag. Okay, it was like that. She hands me an ink brush and a book full of names. Oh yeah, they are doing it in another way. These are all the men in the harem. I click my tongue. I know exactly who I should choose. A small dot of ink neatly spread out on the edge of the rough paper. Excellent, Your Majesty. I will tell the maids to prepare. She swiftly leaves the room, leaving me alone. In the tranquility of the silent night, I sigh as my skin takes in the comfort of the blanket wrapped around me. My nostrils savor the lingering scent of the tobacco smoke from earlier. The smell of the burning tobacco makes me think of my aunt. She would be so mad to see me smoking again, but perhaps mostly because it stained our house. Suddenly, in the quietude of the room, the familiar melody from the other day wafts through the air again, dragging my eyelids down. I clench the bed sheet with my hand as I think about my world. I bet it's a relief for my aunt to see me gone like this. I have always been a burden to her, as she has had to care for me ever since my mother died. Isn't that the reason why she always tries to set me up on dates? I shake my head, trying to pull myself out of all the thoughts about her or my world. I need to stay laser focused on my mission here. The distant music continues, enveloping the room with its enchanting tune. I let it draw on my mind with its seductive melody until I drift into the darkness of my eyelids. To be continued. Well, we're going to get to chapter 3. I thought this was going to take me like an hour. How long are we? I don't know. When did I start it? Oh my god, how long is this taking me? I cannot stay in here for this long today. Oh my god. Oh my god. To my Empress. Through the melodies, emotions take flight, expressing the depths of love's pure delight. The instruments resonate, echoes true, the passion and longing I feel for you. Okay, 211 days till the murder. Okay, I thought this is going to take me an hour. If this is going to take me long, I need to eat. I need a break. Honestly, I need at least a break. And I can come back for a little bit more, but I need to eat. I am dying in here. You are probably already hearing my stomach for I don't know how many time. But I need a break. I will come back, okay? So see you soon.